This is Mark and Charity's Coffee Podcast.
It's a Friday free-for-all on the Mark and Charity Coffee Podcast.
Oh, no.
Friday, August 5th.
I don't know if that's a good idea.
I'm not saying it has to be all the time.
Not that it doesn't go off the rails when we plan or when we have specific topics. But I think the chances are higher when we say free-for-all.
This is our 202nd free-for-all.
Okay.
On the podcast.
I love Fridays. Oh, Fridays are so good.
We often say on the air, some Fridays are better than other Fridays.
They are, yes.
And for you, this is the midway point of summer for you. It was very nice of you to explain that this morning on the air for our nice podcast listeners.
Was it nice?
Yes, it was very nice. Sharing a little bit of your insight.
Fair is this weekend. So it's the weekend after the long weekend, which I know for, I would say probably most, that's the halfway point. Mm-hmm. But as a kid growing up, it was kind of like when the fair came around, because you quite often would cross paths with classmates again, right? Before social media. That's when you would see people after leaving school in June was at the fair. So you kind of reconnect a bit, and then it's only 4 weeks until school's back, and it just seems to fly by, and boom, you're back into the routine. And
you're quote unquote taking part in the fair. What do you have in the fair?
For the first time since school, I want to say, my son and I, Ben, the youngest, he and I did some for the home craft section.
Okay.
Which is set up in the curling club. We submitted some things to be judged and on display for the weekend.
Okay.
Yeah. So I put in some pictures. I took some pictures, some of my photography I put in, and he did 3 or 4 crafts.
Nice.
To put in with, egg cartons and milk cartons, and then the egg carton and coffee can, and made a picture himself. And
may end up with a ribbon?
I hope so. That would be really cool.
What is it, like a ribbon and $10? Isn't there something like that?
I don't know if it's
gift
that
card?
much.
Yeah, exactly. Like
there is some money attached.
Just
to
a little monitor,
like first, second, third.
Sure.
Yeah, like it's very minimal.
That's right. Yeah.
But and then you get a ribbon. So, and I'll be honest, I am kind of hoping some pictures. Right? There's a couple I put in. I'm pretty proud of. So we'll see. Because
there's a little bit. I mean, when you do something artistic like that, there's a lot of you in it. And so you can't help but feel that if it doesn't do anything, it's like, why don't you love me?
Well,
what did I do?
I had that conversation in my head last night that it might not, to me, exactly. I think they're beautiful.
Right.
But, of course, there's very talented people out there, and who knows what's going to end up. So even win or lose, I'm still proud of it, and I love the pictures, but it would be kind of nice to have a ribbon.
I guarantee you there isn't a single judge there when looking at the children thing says in their head, oh, my God. Is that an egg carton? No. That is not how they judge them. Everything is beautiful to them. That's why it's so great.
I hope so.
That's why it's so great.
I'm pretty proud of Ben. He did a really good job and was quite creative with what he envisioned. And he did need a little help here and there, but it was pretty awesome to see him work on it.
I was out at Bridge and Sydney yesterday because I just love the confusion of those lights. And
they are a little confusing,
I always forget who has the advance at that. But anyway, and there's the banner for the Quinte Exhibition Fall Fair, September 1 to 4.
And it's still over here at the fair, it's still in the fairgrounds, right? That hasn't moved.
Every year, I swear, I think it's going to be the last one there, and it's still there.
It's still there.
Year.
Okay.
So that one's to 4. But enjoy that.
Sterling's next weekend, too.
Yeah.
It's those two that are the big ones for us. So, lots of fairs. Fair season's here. Napanee was last weekend. It's just going to continue. Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Ribfest is in town.
The first of 2.
Yeah. So it's at Centennial Park beginning today, tomorrow, and Sunday.
Are you going to hit it up?
It's going till, for sure. I think it's 4 to 10 today, and then noon to 10 tomorrow, I think noon to 6. QuinteRibfest.ca. Go to the website. Don't completely and totally take our word for it. 4 rivers are there, and I love it. And I said to Kath, we're going to go this weekend, for sure. And it's not like I'm putting my foot down. It's like, I know we're going. Mm-hmm. And I said, which night do you want to go? And she said, Friday. She didn't even hesitate because the thing, she says, if there's any leftovers, that's what we can have the next day. And I said to her, what are leftovers?
That's very practical thinking. We'll get a Friday and then we can enjoy it again Saturday.
So we can get...
Even Sunday if you get enough.
And then get some to go. Oh my God, I love this woman. And then in 2 weeks, they're going to be back, perhaps different Ribbers, but another will be here in Belleville.
Are you going to that one too?
And I think, maybe on the Friday, because I think Saturday we're headed out of town.
Okay.
To stay with some friends overnight. Though, again, we haven't seen since the pandemic started. So
wow.
A little bit of that kind of stuff. And but all brought to you by the Family YMCA and Big Brothers Big Sisters. So that's who's going to be benefiting. $2 to get in, $5 for a family of 5. If there's more than 5 of you, leave the ones at home you don't like as much. But get out there and enjoy it. Those are great
Your
things. Your
reasoning and rationale is so funny to me.
I was on a flight once, and it was one of those things where the safety messages were hilarious. They didn't take them seriously at all. And the one woman said, in the event that the air pressure in the cabin is compromised, masks will fall from the ceiling. It is always best to put your own on first if you're traveling with children. Start with the one with the most potential and work your way down. And then she says, if you're traveling with your husband, do yours before you have to do his. It was very funny. She was very, very funny.
That is funny.
Okay, so speaking of fall fair food, here's something we say for the podcast. Cracker Barrel in the United States.
I love the Cracker Barrel. Does this tie into a fair?
Yeah, it sort of does because it's food related when I think about fairs. Because eventually the state fall fairs are going to come up.
Yes.
And then we're going to hear all the great food that are available.
All the weird food.
That's right. So Cracker Barrel is, in your estimation, why do you love it so much?
Why?
Yeah.
Because the butter.
Yeah. Everything.
No, I love it for a lot of things. I love the store. I love the food. I don't know what they do. I joke about the butter, but honestly, we had a side of broccoli with one of our meals, and there wasn't anything other than maybe butter on it. And it was the most delicious broccoli I have ever had in my life.
Right.
And I asked the waitress, I'm like, how did you cook? She's like, we just put butter on it, honey. And off she went. And I'm like, oh my God. And I tried doing it at home and it doesn't work. So
Not the same.
Yeah, the cracker, I think that's the secret. They just put butter on everything.
Where were you?
We always stop at the one just outside of Syracuse.
Okay, thank you. I've only been to one Cracker Barrel, and it was that one.
Yes, I've been to that one several times. We've been to maybe North Carolina. We stopped in one too, but that's the one I know the best.
Friends of ours,
we always go to that one.
We went to Boston, where you can't park your car. You can't go near Cape Cod or Pawtucket. And they said, we'll stop at Cracker Barrel. And I said, what's Cracker Barrel? And they literally pulled over to the side of the road. They had to get out.
I know.
And it was like, sorry, what did I say? And it was like, oh my gosh. So then I loved it. But I mean, it's food. Mm-hmm. It's big time.
Would you agree though? Like there's something.
No, for sure.
It's
but
amazing.
I ordered, like fried chicken and potatoes, and it's like grandma made it.
Oh my
Huge
gosh.
chicken and potatoes. It's like
the
a lot of food.
Potatoes are so good too.
So that's what Cracker Barrel's known for.
Yes.
Cracker Barrel has just introduced on their menu a plant-based sausage. Okay, so not a pork sausage, a plant-based sausage.
It better be buttery.
And the feedback is backlash.
Good.
People who love Cracker Barrel.
No.
One woman said, bad choice, do your research. And then said, there's another one underneath capitalized, you can take my pork sausage and you pry it from my cold, dead hands. Don't tread on my pork. And it's funny what you say, because I'm going to take the other way, which is they're not replacing the sausage with this. They're only introducing it on the menu.
To give an option.
And if you don't like it, don't order it.
That's very true.
But here again, with this is, why are they so angry? Just don't order it.
Well, and it just happened. My first reaction was, what are you doing? And then it was kind of like, but it's just being offered to other people. There will be people going into the Cracker Barrel who aren't meat eaters.
Yeah,
and want to be healthier, because I'll be honest, nothing in the Cracker Barrel is healthy.
Yeah.
Nothing.
It's not
even the
known,
vegetables, because as I just said, it is baked in butter. So yeah, it does kind of make sense. And you're right. You don't have to order it. We
just want to try it.
But my first, because it's the Cracker Barrel, it's kind of like, why are you messing with it? You know what you get when you go in, too.
Yeah,
so people who would maybe order that maybe aren't. So they're trying to get new customers, too, by the sounds of it, because they wouldn't normally go in there.
Or let's really anger a few listeners.
Oh, okay.
You've gone to Cracker Barrel for a lot. You're into 60s and you had a heart attack. And your doctor said, you got to back off on all the pork. Well, I can go to Cracker Barrel and get a plant-based sausage. Like, can't you think like that? So why is your first
and
thought...
then not get the sides that go with it?
Maybe I'll pick a few off my wife's plate. But your thought isn't capitalized. You can take my pork sausage when you pry it from my cold, dead hands. Like you're getting, like this is the hill you want to die on.
They love Cracker Barrel.
I know.
But as we've said time and time again,
everything.
people just want to be angry.
Yeah.
And I am embarrassed that was my first reaction too.
Don't be embarrassed.
But I love me a Cracker Barrel. Oh my gosh. And I would not order that. I wouldn't. I don't go to the Cracker Barrel to order that.
Yeah, exactly. I have friends who do not eat at Cracker Barrel for what I think is an incredibly unique reason.
Oh.
And we talked about, when we go travel the States and we'll stop at a Cracker Barrel, we sort of laughed at all the things we're going to do on the convoy when we drive down and sort of hang out together. And they said, no, we don't eat at Cracker Barrel. And do you know why?
Why?
No liquor.
Really?
There's no liquor at Cracker Barrel, and that's a thing for them.
Oh.
If I can't have wine with dinner, I'm not going to go.
Oh, okay. See, typically we stop for lunch. So
Yeah,
I wouldn't even think to order.
Right. It's not like they're going to keep going on the road.
Yeah,
At the end
but
of the day,
because
we've
they
been
can't
traveling
have
all day. I want to have a beer and I want to have a wine. So we're
glass of
not going to
something.
eat at Cracker Barrel for dinner.
Oh.
And it never occurred to me.
No.
And first of all, I didn't know they didn't have a license or that was
Quite honestly.
drop.
Well, I'm trying to remember now. I guess I look at it as a family restaurant, and not that you can't go to a family restaurant and have a drink.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right. Alcohol wouldn't even cross my mind to order at a Cracker Barrel.
Olive Garden, off you go. And again, it's not that they're, raging alcoholics. Just a long day on the road. I'd like to be able to have a beer, and since I can't have it there,
Kind
I'm
of
not going to go
wine
there.
and relax.
Right. So, we'll go to an Applebee's or we'll go somewhere else where I can't have that.
Then you don't have the store.
But then
I love the store.
Then you don't get the $5 CD that
Exactly.
I'll never listen to.
Last time I was at a Cracker Barrel, I came home with a beautiful porcelain pumpkin light and Cardinal salt and pepper shakers for Christmas. I love the Cracker Barrel. You're right about the CDs because you always flip through them. But you never know what you're going to find. There's just unique things in there that catch your eye. And Wayne hates it, of course, but it's great because you walk through it before you get there. You have to walk through.
Out.
Oh, I love the Cracker Barrel. Now I want to go to a Cracker Barrel, Mark.
So it's just that slice of Americana, and now the anger's working its way in because
Also
the audacity to make a change
a thing.
that could have been healthier on the menu.
I don't want to be healthy.
Yeah, don't tread on my pork. Wow.
You can't tell me what to do. Don't.
Yeah. But Cracker Barrel, it's our restaurant, and can't we add something? No. Okay.
You're not changing it.
Okay.
So that's change.
What's going on?
That was very interested.
You hate change like Alex Jones hates lawyers.
Oh my God, Alex Jones.
Oh my God, right?
We didn't talk about that this morning on air. We were talking about it off air. And to be honest, I hadn't been following it until yesterday. And I guess I picked it up at the right time.
Wow. It's
because
just
he's something else. Oh my gosh. And so Alex Jones is, as you pointed out, it's not a criminal case, but he finds himself in court. Civilly right now because he was making comments and calling Sandy Hook horrific tragedy.
Yeah.
A hoax.
Which
to me makes me want to punch him anyway.
See, that's just the gateway, though. But when he did is he carried on with the families calling them crisis.
Exactly.
So his listeners, who are the far right and sometimes can become violent, January 6th, would begin to hound these people. They had to move like almost a dozen times.
Oh my God.
And he would never
These
let it go.
families who are mourning the death of their children
are being called actors, and then they are being attacked and harassed and had to live like this.
This is a horrible man. This man should not see the light of day.
Yeah.
But yes, he's in court anyway, and it came out yesterday that the prosecution had received a digital copy from his lawyer by quote unquote accident.
Yeah.
Of all these texts over the last 2 years. So that in itself is...
Wow.
Yeah. And then last night, of course, the late night talk shows get on it and are doing their thing. But then they bring the lawyer in and they start coming down on the lawyer. And as I said to you, his lawyer about accidentally leaking. What an inept lawyer.
The most incompetent lawyer ever. Yeah.
And I looked at you and I said... I give this lawyer a lot of credit
Yeah,
because I find it very hard to believe there's anything accidental about these text messages finding their way into the prosecutor's hands. And if anything, I'd say he's incredibly smart and should be commended.
And I don't know whether this is a disbarable offense.
Because it's civil, right? It's not,
Yeah, that's what I think. And the other part is that when if you've seen the video, the attorney for the families says, 12 days ago I got this. And I honed in on the time frame when I said 12 days ago. Why, if that lawyer was, I don't know, not because I don't know that he's trying to submarine his case or whether Alex Jones treats his lawyer like garbage and he just got tired of it. But 12 days ago was about the time we started getting information that the Secret Service and Homeland Security had deleted all of their texts.
From January 6th, leading up to everything that happened.
So nobody has any texts who would have been a part of it. And suddenly Alex Jones has all of his texts preserved and given to another lawyer. So whatever he had been doing over the last 2 years in touch with
whoever,
could be on this phone. Not saying there is, but if his lawyer has seen it, then he would know if there is. And that's its own conspiracy theory then. Did this lawyer just say, for the good of everything going on, I think this is a bigger thing and this should be, like, I don't know.
There's a lot of things around it because
there's a lot to unpack, as they say.
Exactly, because when they said the 12 days, and they told him this while Alex Jones was on the stand. Do you know that 12 days ago and lays out the whole thing, and he didn't. So as his lawyer, would you not, after realizing that you had sent these accidentally to the prosecution, would you not then tell your client or give him a heads up that, so this happened.
So they're going to have. But
he had no idea.
Don't lie because they know they're going to try and trap you. He didn't. He didn't
12
warn him.
days passed.
Yep.
And he found out on the stand after giving his
deposition.
His testimony.
Yeah.
So clearly he's perjured himself now. So now he's going to be charged with that.
Yeah.
There's a lot around it. So to believe that this lawyer did it accidentally, for me, is very hard to believe.
Yeah. The timing seems conspicuous, and the inability to protect him from his client, to protect him from himself and everything.
Because legally he has to defend him to the best of his abilities. But that tells me too that clearly something is happening with his client. He's either not comfortable, his client has done something he can't live with himself, and was trying to find a way to
as his
get
lawyer,
it out there.
Maybe there's something in a code that says,
well, it's the lawyer-client relationship, right?
Yep.
I have to tell, but at the same time, I can't tell if he tells me certain things. I have to hold that in confidence, but it's very interesting.
I could accidentally send something in.
Yeah, it's an accident.
In Discovery. Oops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard not to watch. It's hard not to be taken in by it all.
Kind of cheer.
Yeah. a little bit.
I know what you're thinking if you're an Alex Jones fan. Oh, you two who have 20 listeners are so jealous.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I don't think I would want to get 1 million listeners if that's the way I had to get it.
No.
Where I have to be yelling and screaming and so outrageous and
if you
hateful.
Take a tragedy such as Sandy Hook and turn it into what he has turned it into, and especially for those families on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
There aren't the words to describe what an incredibly horrible, despicable, evil, disgusting human being you are.
Yeah.
These people, and
he makes millions.
And he makes money off it. And you're rallying people to continue the harassment of these grieving families. To me, just makes me sick. You are the lowest of the low. He's
been asking for money on his podcast to help pay off whatever his penalty is going to be. And one day last week, his listeners combined to send him $80,000. They're sending him money.
Yeah.
So he got hit with a $4 million compensatory verdict yesterday. So compensation, $4 million is going to have to pay. Punitive is today or tomorrow. I'm not sure. Today or Monday. And that's when you will find out. And by the way, $100 million and 38 years in jail. I don't know.
And that's just it. The money isn't going to really do anything. But if if they can put him in jail, if he can do time, I think that would be more. Take away his microphone.
Yeah. Yep.
And TVs. That would be, I think, the penalty best suited for him.
What a crazy week.
Oh my gosh, so crazy. And a short one.
Short one.
We're here already at Friday.
And before we let you go, Charity was thumbing her way through the Farmer's Almanac because she couldn't wait to see what winter looked like.
It's been so hot.
And
I'm not complaining, though. I'm not complaining.
Makes me laugh. Apparently, February is going to be cold with snow.
No, January is going to be cold. February is going to be snowy.
Okay. So unlike every other January and February in the Quinte region.
I talked about it again when I was doing the middays, and that's exactly what I said. So I know, shocker, it's going to be snowy and cold this winter.
Yep. And I got a text message from a couple of listeners that said, sorry, what day in January?
Yeah, I know.
Because we're thinking of driving to go see some friends. How about we just get closer to that day?
You know, I would like it, though, to start in December. I really would.
I know.
Just for the holidays, right?
I like a good snowfall in mid-December. And then after that, just kind of hang in until the March break.
Exactly. I will never look at winter the same again after working with you. Because now, I know you hate November. I cannot hate November because it is my birthday month.
Right. Okay.
But after that, from like November 17th until March, it just looks differently to me now. Because you hate it.
Well, I
don't hate it.
I rank the months. I've re-ranked them, by the way. I've got a re-ranking. I've decided. Again? Yeah, I re-ranked yesterday when I was driving. July is still number 1. I've moved August up to number 2.
I thought June was number 2. Yeah, May was number 2.
May's dropped down to 3.
Okay, so July, June, August, May.
And June. But I used to have July, May, June, August.
Oh,
because I was thought, August. And then I thought,
it's the end of summer, but it's not.
That's what I said. August, you're getting a bum rap. I should not think that way.
Because you hated Labor Day. And I'm like, no, Labor Day
September's
is really
still
great.
5th. Still 5th.
I love September, October.
And then April and October go back and forth. I'm not sure.
Oh. Yeah. October would rank higher than April. Way higher than
Just to me, it's like, oh my gosh, here we go. Spring's here.
But it's so wet.
Yeah. No, I know. But October's got football. So you can.
October's beautiful.
October's
cooler.
Great. Yeah.
Leaves are changing.
It's a month ranking, but I've bumped August up. I like August now. So it's okay. Yeah, November and February,
August.
Still have a hard time.
You get some time away from me in August, too. So that's a good thing.
Move that up to that might be number 1 now.
There you go. See? Yeah.
1B.
Mark and Charity Coffee Podcast. You enjoy your time away, okay?
Thank you.
Join us here on Monday when we get back. We'll have your Monday morning mashup of the mystery year, the time, the song, the movie, and the news story. Your chance to win on that. And then I'm going to just muddle through on my own.
Aww.
Figure out what that's about.
Your voice changes a bit, but I know secretly you're like, yes.
It sounds, but my face is like, look at this. With Joe Charity here to say, I don't think we should do that, Mark. Here we go.
You want to talk about a free-for-all.
Yeah. 10 shows and podcasts. Have a great weekend, okay, everybody? Don't use napkins. Lick your fingers. It's Ribfest weekend, but don't forget, lick your own fingers. You can't just lick anybody else's because that's gross. It's the Mark and Charity Coffee Podcast. I mean, I won't do that again.
No, don't. No, we learned.